Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Our patient today is nothing we haven't seen before, 1724. And the battery bulged up to help us remove the display. So it's like partially detached from the frame. It's actually not too perfect because adhesive stayed at the stuck to the screen instead of the frame, and that's not ideal, but that's good. Let's see what happens when we connect it. Unsurprisingly, we have no charging. And let's get in the BIOS. We have some discoloration on the display. Over here mainly, that looks like few spots. The digitizer seems to be working. It probably will have issues because it's flexing, but we have a password. So step number 1, open the device. Step number 2, reflash it. And actually I have a reflashed BIOS over here, so I'm just gonna swap the chips, because programming takes about 2 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. So I'll speed up the process. There is tons of scotch tape all over, and it even goes like inside the display, underneath the display. That is curious. How would that happen? How do you put the scotch tape underneath from the outside? I think maybe the battery detached. The battery started bulging and the display detached, and perhaps the user just put the scotch tape to hold the display together. Don't do that. You don't want to flex the display. Well, this one is discolored for that reason. It has been flexed too much. It's not exactly your fault as a user, because the battery started doing that, but definitely don't put scotch tape or anything to hold the display. Just send it over for repair as soon as you see the battery is bulging. You might be able to save the display. Otherwise, you need to replace the display along with the battery. This one, since the display is kind of working, we'll see what to do with this one. I will just replace it, but it will work with slight discoloration. Some people don't mind that. Okay, how to safely remove the display. That's actually something I've been struggling with a lot, but recently I got some input from the other guys, repair guys, and this is what they do, and I replicated it and it works. So instead of using around 100 degrees with no nozzle, I use 220 with a nozzle, the medium one, and that allows me to heat up just the part where adhesive is. Before, without the nozzle, I was heating up the big chunk of the screen, and I think that's what kills the digitizer. The second thing, I was using metal tools. I even created one for myself. So this one allows me to get in no further than allowed, so I don't destroy anything. But still, probably flexing, I'm not sure. I wasn't successful with that. I mean, the screen comes off and the display works perfectly, but the digitizer goes missing. So, along with the heating, business cards is what works best. So I was also using these plastic, well, kind of the size of a business card, but exposed to heat, they deform very easily. Business card, on the other hand, that's mainly paper, with some plastic probably too, or I don't know, because it doesn't dissolve in water. It's but it's mainly paper. It withstands the temperature a lot better. It maintains its shape, and I have plenty of them. So let's do it. So I'm just going to be heating it up and putting in the card along the edge, and the screen will come off cleanly. Okay, the battery is completely missing. That's why it doesn't hold any charge. That explains it. Now, let's see, that's the digitizers to work. And the digitizer still works. So, excuse me. So it's as simple as that, just business cards. I was testing so many different techniques, trying to come up with them myself, even applying alcohol and all that, and lengthy procedures. And it's just as simple. I was using too low temperature and wrong tool. All that thanks to you guys, other repair shops. So I'm glad we share knowledge. It's very useful. Now, let's get the BIOS. Oh, come on. So since battery is missing, the flex cables stuck to the battery adhesive. There you go. And the shields are missing. And oh my god. Okay, this needs this needs a replacement of the heatsink as well. See that? That's not how you replace the battery. So you saved the shield. The shield is in perfect condition because it was not moved, because you moved this all the way here. This will not work anymore. Luckily, this only removes the temperature from the battery. So, I don't know, if you did it to this one, that would be bad, because the CPU would be overheating. Right now, the CPU is not going to overheat, but I'm still replacing this. That's too bad. I thought this was an easier repair. I thought this was going to be an easier repair. I guess not. Well, that's fine. Now, let's take off the shield. Let's use this. And now let's just remove the BIOS. Replace it with the one from the programmer. With this one. And the BIOS should be done. How many screws are missing? There's one missing here. And the bracket. Oh my god, what do you guys do to these? Jesus. One of our antennas has been removed. The sensor over here detached. That could have been I don't think it's the battery bulging problem. And I'm now thinking about it. This appears to be just a botched job by a technician. So take a look at this right here, right? So this was detached. Alright, it should be sitting here. Something like that. Putting it back in is kind of a hassle. It's a crappy connector. Oh, there you go. Okay. Now it's connected. It's really hard to connect these. Come on. And they're not staying in place. Come on, stay in place. There. And the antenna. So, was it this? No. Which antenna? Here, yeah. Yeah. That is too bad. So, antenna needs to be replaced. I'm not sure which one is it. It could be Wi-Fi, could be Bluetooth, could be GSM. There are 3 antennae on this device. Well, anyways, let's get the BIOS first. And there we go. No BIOS. No BIOS password. And a digitizer doesn't work anymore, but that's fine. The screen is largely flexed. Or did I mess up the connection? No, I don't think I did. Or is it the touch firmware? Well, we can confirm by replacing the BIOS chip. Let's see if the digitizer works then. Let's see, does it have a system? It should have a system. Let's boot it and let's test another display. Okay, there's still no touch, So now, just to make sure, let's connect another display, just for the sake of argument that perhaps this one got damaged. And still no touch. So our touch firmware now says 0000. Before it was saying some numbers. So the conclusion is that reflashing the BIOS with this particular one removes the touch. Now, why is that important? Why is that important to know? Or why is that important for me to know? Because I've done few of these, and on many of these, many of them that I've done, the touch would disappear, and then even after the replacement of the display, the touch wouldn't come back. And I assumed that I'm a really bad technician and I just damaged the screen during the procedure. Now I have conclusive observation that the act of reflashing the BIOS with this particular one removes the touch. Now, I don't want to bore you too much because I think that's enough to kind of visualize this and prove it. But I will, just for my own curiosity, I will put the old chip back, the one that is BIOS locked, and see if the touch returns. I believe it will, but if it doesn't, then, well, that's another game altogether. But, you know, if it doesn't, then, you know, then officially I stop repairing these, I stop resetting these, if that be the case. And step 2, find a different BIOS. And this time, I will use the serial number over here, just how you download the Windows for these. I will download the BIOS. It should be available on Microsoft website. Last time I just got it from like third-party sources. And so I will try to get it exactly for this board. I'm not sure where that board has some markings that would identify exactly this one, but probably 1724 will do. Should be alright. This needs to be replaced. Oh my god, how could you do this? Jesus. Oh, okay, because I was thinking, are there going to be missing screws over here? Because to remove the battery, you need to, ideally, you need to take out the whole board and remove the battery. There is a way of doing that with just removing the majority of the screws without removing these, and just lifting the board enough to detach the battery and place the new one. I don't recommend that method because it's risky. You can damage the board by flexing it, and that's going to be kind of tough to repair, if at all possible. But this user, this technician, so there are even worse technicians than me. I'm kind of glad to see that. This technician just cut the battery wire. This is cut. Either cut or ripped. Maybe they just, you know, ripped the battery out. This could be because when the battery is inside the device, it needs to be treated differently than when the battery is not in the device, because obviously these are toxic, fire hazard, and, you know, not great for environment, all that. So they need to be treated a little bit differently. So probably this was a quick, you know, quick repair of getting rid of the battery, so we can recycle it easier, right? Just give it as a, yeah, this is machine for recycling, no lithium batteries in it. That probably makes it cheaper, easier, who knows? I would expect it. So this patient will live as soon as we find the correct BIOS. I will keep you guys posted, obviously. I was gonna replace the battery, but in this case, first let's see what's up with the touch disappearing. That will be much more interesting. And that also means that it wasn't me. It actually, it's a great relief, because I bought like dozens of these just to learn how to open them without the damage. And the majority of the ones that I've opened before, they probably had, probably the display was okay. It just wouldn't work after the reflash. So that is great news for me. I hope you guys found it useful as well. I know I sent this particular binary of the BIOS that I used in the video to one of my viewers. And so if you're watching, if you reflash it and the touch disappeared, don't worry. Reach out to me in a few days, I guess, hopefully in a few days, and I will have a BIOS that is for your particular board. I will look into that, or maybe there's something else that I'm missing. So we'll see about that. But this is the whole reason why I had so many issues with touch. I'm super happy to know that. And I hope you found that useful as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one.